And like that, we are live. I am Michael Govier. This is the Heads Rico Blotto Fantasy Baseball Podcast. My co-host Christopher Deary's with me at CDeary1999. I'm at MJ Govier. G-O-V as in Victor. I-E-R. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. Ready to do a pod. I got a coffee. I got to go to bed here in a couple hours, but I'm one of those type of people that can drink coffee and fall asleep right after it. Very odd.
That is very odd. And today's guest is a very special man. He is sailing the high seas of fantasy for many decades now. He is a legendary boater, a captain of the seas of fantasy, of life, of other things. I don't even know if he really is a shrimp boat captain, but I really took that handle that he has on Twitter quite literally for today's show. You could follow him, of course, at Shrimp Boat Captain on Twitter. He is a Canadian and a fine human being. Welcome in, everybody, Graham Boatlocke.
That is the greatest introduction I've ever been given. I've never really been given introduction, so I'll take it. That's outstanding. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I won't minimize it. It wasn't even one of my good ones. I thought it was pretty lame, actually.
No, whatever.
Yeah, that tells you another man's trash is another man's treasure. See?
Yeah, I'll take it, man.
I'm happy that you're here, Graham. We've talked a while on Twitter, had a lot of conversations, and now we're finally putting it all into action on tonight's show. It's our second show of the day. We had Chris Robin on this afternoon. That was a lot of fun. Deary, we talked about Michigan stuff for a little bit. We talked about Verners and, the Great Lakes.
Strohs.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Strohs. Shit. Graham, you're not a Michigander, but you know about the Great Lakes.
I know a little bit about the Great Lakes, yeah. I know there's Ontario and Erie.
He knows the ones closest to him.
And Michigan.
Yes.
And Superior.
Very good. Very good,
5?
sir.
That was 5,
Yeah,
right?
you got all of them.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
Well
wait,
done.
can I swear here? Is that allowed?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard you guys swear.
Yeah, come on now, man. You know how we do it here. We don't really keep ourselves limited. We like to open it up on the show and say whatever we want, however we want, in any way possible. Damn! Yeah, it's true. I know. It sounds crazy. But on this show, we're going to talk about fantasy baseball. That's what we do. I want you to check out the Chris Robin show, though. It was really cool. Chris is a Michigander. He's a fantasy football guy, but he also is a DFS guy for baseball. He has a lot of information related to baseball and fantasy. So please follow him at Detroit Beastie. And he has a lot of experience with mental health stuff and substance use disorder. And he's helping a lot of people. And I stumbled upon that. I had no idea. He kind of popped in our show here a couple months ago. And then he ended up being on the show. So I want to really push that episode. I thought it was a great, positive, honest episode. We talked a lot about, not a lot, but we talked enough about the this fucking thing that you see on Twitter recently where people talk about injuries to players, or like the Trevor Bauer situation, who has been on administrative leave due to the sexual assault allegations. And people have been identifying and talking about Bauer in fantasy terms. And some people on Twitter said, no, you should not be doing that. Graham, I wonder what you think about all that.
Oh, my God. I'm going to get you canceled.
You're going to get me canceled?
Yeah, apparently, man, I'm blanking on his name. The Roto Wager, Brian Seymour, went off about that today. I've yet to listen. But
is it getting a lot of talk? Is people talking about it?
Well, he basically just said that he hopes that Trevor Bauer, I'm paraphrasing and I haven't heard, so this is straight gossip, but what I heard secondhand was he said he hopes Trevor Bauer pitches more because he owns him, or he rosters him in a bunch of leagues. And I'm sinking in a few where I've drafted Bauer. I mean, he's your first round pick or the high second, like in 15 teamers. Mm-hmm. He was drafted as an ace. He was pitching close to 1. I think that I can separate the two. We're here to talk about baseball. He's a terrible human being. But fuck, my fantasy teams certainly miss him.
You play for money, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So do people know that fantasy baseball is gambling?
You're laying it out for them.
Good. Deary, what do you think of this, Deary?
We've been drafting pieces of shit for decades. We've been cheering for absolute garbage athletes almost our whole life. I've always been able to at least separate the aspect of rooting for my team or rooting for my fantasy team. I've never not drafted a guy because I didn't like him. I think a lot of people may be talking about Bauer wanting him to come back, and there's kind of two sides to this. And the other side is that, like, if you want him to come back, then you're actually hoping that some of these allegations are not true, which would be great for everybody involved. We don't know the facts. We don't know what's come out, but I think you should still be allowed to talk about these players however the fuck you want to. I don't think it's inappropriate to say, oh, I want him to come back and produce for my team. Sure, it's going to piss some people off, but we don't completely know all the facts. He could be back next week. All the allegations could go away, or he could end up in prison. Who knows? But yes, to your point, Mike, like any fantasy baseball, whether if you put any type of money into it, it is considered gambling. So if you are gambling on these players, you want them to be playing for your team. I also saw in the fantasy football realm, Cam Akers gets injured, blows out his knee, and it's like, well, you can't talk about Cam Akers, and immediately start pivoting and talking about, his backup Henderson or whoever else is there is going to take over that spot. It's like, that's inappropriate that you're happy that you drafted the handcuff and now that guy's going to take over. You're happy for him being injured. I don't think anybody is really saying that. They're just talking about how they are going to take advantage of this and they're going to benefit from someone getting injured within that realm of fantasy baseball.
But that's the game.
Correct.
Like you're leveraging real life things against what you're wagering essentially to get an advantage over whatever the spread was.
This is a gambling game that we play.
So, yeah, I don't know. Talk about his value.
Oh.
And you want me to change? Fuck you!
People don't want to change, I hear that people are innocent until proven guilty in this country, and I never hear that anymore. Nobody ever says that anymore. I am wise enough to know that Trevor Bauer could be a piece of shit, but he could also be innocent of some charges, but he could also be guilty of it. I can have all three of those thoughts in my head at the same time. It's amazing. I don't know how you guys do it, but I get the same feeling you all understand that as well. So I believe Twitter is a central tunneled vision vehicle, which limits honest discussion anyway. So if you're having a debate in public about it, you're already fucked because you don't know the person that well. And you're getting into a situation where you don't really understand what the person is exactly trying to say because they're also limited by a number of characters. In life out here, we can talk for as long as we want on this show. We can have endless amounts of characters come out of our mouths. Anything we want. We can say anything. We can shout out anything. We can release any type of verbal expression at any given time. And that's why podcast, live streams, so much better for conversation. So I thought we'd talk about it briefly. I don't want to harp on it. And I don't want to fight people that are imaginary and who I don't even know. Like we're not talking on a specific person that I'm targeting on Twitter right now. I'm just kind of fighting this general monster, this overall kind of, it's like the nothing. It's like coming at us endlessly, and it's all tweets, and it's you will pay, and you are eliminated. And I think we all understand that. Anybody who spent any time on social media gets it. So that's all.
I'd like to see the people that are arguing with each other on Twitter, which both sides make great points. It's very similar to politics. Why don't you guys get on a podcast and hash it out on there? You probably have some pretty constructive conversation, and in the end, you'd probably be friends and no one's canceling each other.
I'd listen to that.
No, we're all forever on. It's over. It's over. Graham.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
We're fucked. We're all forever unclean. Everybody is dirty and filthy. You're all fucked.
Oh, that's fine. Showering's overrated.
Ooh, Graham, what should people know about you besides that you're live here talking fantasy baseball? What else should they know about you? Where can they find? Should there be something they should be looking to interact with you with in some way, anywhere, somehow?
I'd just like to talk about baseball. I love baseball.
You've made that clear.
I think that's all it says in my Twitter handle is just baseball, period. Like, I don't know, that's where I'm at. I'm in Canada. Near Toronto. Blue Jays fan.
Graham would
That's
be a
fun.
very easy first date. What are your interests? Baseball. Nothing else.
Funny story actually. On our first date, and maybe I'm oversharing, but
Never.
my wife now. I got married a couple of weeks ago.
He did.
Um,
That's right.
congratulations.
Woohoo!
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Big news, buddy. Really happy for you on that. That's fun. I hear cool things. He was also very honest about what life can be like. So, anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
She just she was a carny. Like she ran away from home when she was younger, and she was a carny. So our first date, like she just dropped that on me, and I was just like, wow, this is an easy conversation because I'm just gonna ask you everything about joining the circus and running away from your house. That was fucking cool. Yeah.
She's a carny and you work late at night. You guys are quite the pair.
Well, she's not a carny anymore.
She could take it back up.
She's no longer a carny. That's true. I apologize for that.
I feel like there should be another name for carny.
Yeah, I think that's taboo, bro.
Circus freak. We're canceled. You're fucked.
Fuck.
11
Show's over.
minutes.
Nobody cares about the show anyway, so it's fine. That's the best part about it. You just do what you want, and we're independent and free, and we can say whatever we want.
Whoopsie daisy!
It happens.
Is carny actually an offensive word?
I've
Ask
heard
your
that's yeah. You should. Well, I've heard that it's no longer cool, but you can get back to me on that one. So,
Well, apologies.
Things are
But a
different
lot of
in
things are.
America.
I'm learning and growing too.
This is America, Jack.
That was a boo-boo.
hey, you're Canadian,
This is America, Jack.
so you gotta adapt. You know, my girlfriend's Canadian, and she understands. She knows that you don't say carny anymore.
Oh. No do to boot it. She's a stand-up gal.
Yeah, we don't do those jokes. Those are so played. So don't worry, we're not going to do that here. I never do that with her. I never make fun of her accent because it's so lame. You know, it's been there, done that. And my girlfriend knows. Leanne, she's a wonderful woman, and she appreciates a good joke. But you got to earn the laugh. You got to make it happen. That's what I try to do with her. You know, because Canadians have great sense of humor. They really do.
I'll take the compliment.
They do. Kids in the Hall, classic. Come on. No, anyone? I don't know. Anyways, let's talk. Let's talk business.
Oh yeah.
A little business time. I want to say thank you to all of you who follow us. Subbing the YouTube channel. Sub. Palazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's, of course. That's important. Very important.
Utah, give me 2.
And Palazzo Podcast at protonmail.com. You send us an email. Let us know what's on your mind. This is it. Deary, this is like the last day. I think today's like the last day for trophy ideas. Like, it's over. We really have to start making the trophies.
It's over.
It is. Time's up.
All-Star break was over, right? We have what? We have 2 submissions for an idea?
I talked to Chris about it today. He had a few ideas. He thought we should do like a Wimbledon plate. You know, like
What the hell are you going to do with that?
he thought it'd be cool to have a personalized plate.
And you got to like prop it up on something.
Yeah.
We'll just give a ribbon out.
Oh.
First place
Why not?
ribbon.
We'll do a ribbon. That's cool.
Gold-plated.
Graham, do you have any ideas for a trophy?
Get a sushi set. Personalized engraved sushi set.
Wow. Now
Great idea.
that is the most original idea I think we've actually heard.
That's funny. I ate sushi the other day, and that's why I thought of it.
I love it. Fantastic, man. It just came naturally to you. Look at that. See how easy it could be?
It's the whole shrimp boat thing. I'm used to munching down on that raw seafood.
So you're not
the
a
man
shrimp
of the
boat
fish.
captain, though, right?
No, I live in Ontario. We're landlocked, man. I'm surrounded by lakes.
Yeah, why would I think there'd be shrimp? I thought maybe, who knows, you were farther east. I don't know.
It's possible. Imagine eating like freshwater sushi though. That's unclean.
That doesn't sound very good at
No.
all. Sorry. We do want to say thank you to our followers who follow us. Justin Herrera. Hey, Justin Herrera. Thanks for following us. Pleasure to have you aboard. What a pleasure it is. Derek Warren. Derek Warren sent me a bunch of fantasy questions on the Palazzo DM, which you can do. DM Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah,
Ask
give me
fantasy
2.
questions. Ask them all day. He had a lot of questions, and I was happy to help Derek. So, Derek, if you're hearing this, good times, my friend. Don't forget Nicole Cahill. Deary, do you know Nicole Cahill? I don't know her.
Nicole Cahill. No, I don't.
Yeah. She's following us now. So is
Excellent.
Steven Swan. Steven Swan.
Great
Don't forget
names.
fantasy baseball fan at Batman Baseball. That's a fun name. How about that? And I think that's it for now. Yeah, there's more, but oh, here we go. The fantasy baseball quick hitter followed us. He's got quick hitters, advice, and some insight as he navigates the second half of the 2021 season. And he is not La Tortuga, Williams Astudillo, dumbass. Yeah, he is not that guy. It says that in his bio. I don't know why, but it does. So. All right, so there it is. Thank you, new followers. Thank you, business people. The second half's rolling along, and we're going to continue to do what we do. So we'll be here for you, rocking the business. Right, dearie?
We are going all the way to the end of the season. I am not giving up and going to football. I'm actually having a pretty decent week here, but it's like the last call here in some of my leagues if I'm going to make the playoffs because I'm quite a ways back in a couple of my head-to-head leagues. I've making a little bit of traction in my Roto league, still near the bottom, but I haven't given up. I'm going full in. I won't do any fantasy football drafts till a week before the season.
Yeah! Woohoo! Graham.
What up?
I know that you're feeling some anxiety because, man, you are really at the top. You are what, third overall in the overall for the NFBC 50s?
Yeah, I'm second.
Second.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Holy shit.
Although I was told by a very wise man, Jake Hollisker, today to don't trip, grind. So shout out to Jake. Still kind of tripping, but
How do you, is it because you might lose?
well, just like every single decision that you make with every like roster decision, it just feels amplified. So like
Yeah.
this week, for example, like something that I've decided I'm not going to do is watch my starting pitchers anymore. I benched like I'm usually a nervous wreck watching them anyway, but I kind of enjoy them. But I benched Nick Pivetta on the 2-starter this week. And in the first inning, the Red Sox scored 50 runs there.
Yeah.
On
Yeah, I
Monday.
think they scored 4 or 5.
Yeah, they scored 4 or 5, and I was like, fuck, left a win on the bench. But then, the Jays came back and put some runs up against him. So like the decision in the process to bench Pivetta on the 2-start was still probably the right one.
Don't be that guy.
But yeah, just everything's amplified. So I'm crunching numbers. I'm trying not to obsess over it, but I obviously am.
Yeah. I mean,
You got to enjoy the ride.
Yeah, trying to.
But you want to win.
I
You want to win
want
the money.
Of course.
We'll see.
It's fucking gambling.
Long fucking way to go, but
It's
it's
July.
hell of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's early. I mean, it's like mid-July. You got a couple months left here. So you just to pull it back a bit. But every decision over the next 2 months could really drain you, my friend. And I know that you said it's kind of like it's anxious. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know, man. This is so exhausting. Am I going to be able to make it?
Exactly. I don't
That's
know
an
if I'm
honest
gonna make it.
conversation.
Yeah. But so yeah, the lineup's locked twice weekly, and basically the thing that I've told myself is like once it's set, like just check the stat live scoring like once a day, twice a day. Because it's set.
Yeah.
I have no control again until tomorrow. So
Really? Am I a moron?
like NFBC, I have no control over the
It's not daily, right?
no, it's twice weekly for hitters and once weekly for pitchers.
Yeah, exactly. So you're good till Friday.
Wait, what day is it?
Wednesday.
Oh fuck. Apologies. Shift work.
So you know exactly what you're doing then. You said it, and then once it all starts, it's out of your hands till Friday, so you don't have to obsess over it. You can just check out because you can't change a damn thing. You already know the answer.
Well, that is the answer, but it's more difficult to practice in my scumbag brain.
Oh.
We talking about practice.
Yeah, well, I understand that. It's a challenge. But we wish you the best, man. If there's any... Oh, Ryan Venancio here. Hey, buddy. Hey. Ryan Venancio with sales ahead. Check out his drumming videos, too, on YouTube. They're fantastic. He just did a Nas... what's it? Nas X? What's that guy's name? Nas X?
Is he a rapper? I think he's a rapper.
He's like a country rapper. Nas X. Mr. Nas X? Am I thinking of Mr. X is like from a video game a long time ago, I think. Anyways.
It's Nas's alter ego.
It's the guy who did the A couple years ago, he had that massive song with fucking Billy Bozo Cyrus. Remember that?
Yeah.
That song was everywhere. You couldn't avoid it a couple summers ago. Somebody know what I'm talking about out there?
I know what you're talking about. All the kids at summer camp loved it.
Yeah. Something about a cowboy, or something about my steed.
Old Town Road.
Thank you, Old Town Road. There you go.
Embarrassed, I know that.
And it's Lil Nas X. That's what I got wrong. Lil. There's a lot of Lils in rap. There's Lil Troy. There's Lil Wayne. There's Lil
Bow Wow. Lil Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. A little late on that, but appreciate that. All right, so this is presented by rotofanatic.com. Don't forget, go to rotofanatic.com. Play with the data monster. He's cutesy, wootsy, cuddly, wuddly. A lot of fun. Good times, noodle salad. And that'll take you right into leading off. All right, this is how we do it in leading off. We get the show started. We get it rolling. We start taking it up and out.
Good. Our first catch of the day.
Today's catch of the day, it's easy. We talked Tigers earlier today, by the way, because Chris was a local Michigander, and it was fun to talk Tigers. But today we're talking Randy Arozarena. He is getting hot right now. He's taking it off to another level, just like he did last year in the playoff run when he hit 10 home runs in the playoffs. 2 home runs today, home run yesterday. Looks like he's starting to go on a streak, and he's leading off more, which is also good news. Mr. Deary. What else can you say about Randy Arozarena? I mean, I think he's a great player. He's just been kind of stinking it up a bit, but he still stings the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's been I wouldn't say that he was a complete miss this year. I think he was overdrafted in a lot of leagues. I think where you and I liked him was a little further down. And he's, did not hit too many home runs at the start of the season, but obviously he's picked up in the last week. I mean, the guy's surefire bet to get 100 runs because of that lineup that he's in. And he's starting to pick it up here for the Rays, which is really nice to see. Would like to see a higher batting average. OBP is down a ton right now, but hey, man, he could really pick it up here. Guy's super talented. He's only 24 years old. He's got the speed with 11 stolen bases. So this is a guy that, obviously you've probably held on to him all season unless you shipped him off for some other pieces. But he's a guy who could really end up heating up and helping you out. We saw what he did in the playoffs last year. And baseball's a game of streaks. And guys like him could go on a streak where he starts putting the ball out of the park, stealing some bags for you. And if he's at the top of that lineup for the Rays, congratulations, because he is going to help you out here down the stretch and hopefully get you in the upper echelon of some of your leagues and hopefully win a championship for you.
Child, please.
Maybe he'll be the first overall pick next year.
For the number 1 pick, this man should be able to walk out the door today, go on a crime spree that would make Robert Blake come in his pants. And then he should be able to go home and have sex with your wife, and then be given a parade in his honor.
That's a bit much. I'd rather just have Randy Arozarena, but I understand the point there. Graham, Randy Arozarena, are you going to be focusing on him in 2022?
Yeah, I love him. I think.
Oh, wow.
I think in the current landscape and the need for speed, the Rays are going to let him run, and they have let him run. He's been caught 7 times, and he's still running. He's got 11 steals.
Yes.
The thing about the 2 bombs he hit today, I noticed he hit them on off-speed pitches, which is what he was struggling with so far. It was generally the knock on him. Instead, he can only hit hard stuff. So if he's actually starting to adjust to the league adjusting to him, it could be a big second half. I own a ton of Randy. I got Randy for Randy. Randy's on that. And I don't know if he hits 25 home runs and steals 20 bases, even if the average is 240, he's a beaut.
He is a beaut, isn't he? Such a beaut. Sexy man you are. His BABIP's 324. So he's kind of creeping up in terms of the luck and how things are going. He hit 281 in a very small sample last year, which doesn't mean dick. But the guy has to hit right-handers more. And I think our pal Davey from the Rotosaurus crew said that today. He said he wants to see him hit righties more consistently because he was crushing lefties recently. Some of these home runs were against a couple left-handers as well. So I would like to see that. And if he could do that, because he is a right-handed hitter, in case you don't know, and if you're listening to this show in late July, I'm shocked that you probably don't know who he is. I don't think any newcomers are showing up here right now. Maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe there is a newcomer. Who knows, dearie? I guess anything's possible.
We get newcomers every week.
He says that like it's so true. Like it was so obvious. Like, yeah, we could do comers every week.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm sure you do. I believe it too. You're right. It is true. It's obvious. Everybody knows it's true. In the end,
And reason will prevail. Reason will prevail!
yes, we all know that here on the Palazzo Podcast. We're with Graham at Shrimp Boat Captain. That's CAPN Captain. Shrimp Boat Captain. C. Deary 1999. MJ Govier. GOVs and Victor IER. Now, I want to talk about Govier's guys. I got to say it like that every time I say it. Govier's guys. I do it every night on Twitter. No matter how late it is, no matter what time it is, I will make sure to do it before I go to bed. I only do one tweet. 240 characters, as much as it will allow, and I try to fit in as many players from the day's action around the diamond in Major League Baseball. Did well. No negatives. It's all positives. I'm looking for people who, like Rosarina today, he'll probably be one of Govier's guys. Probably hit 2 home runs. That's a good thing. But Graham wanted to talk about Yohan Moncada, who is one of Govier's guys. No doubt about it. Yohan Moncada was highly drafted by me. I drafted him a lot.
He was your MVP pick.
Yeah, shit. Was my dark horse MVP pick. That's true. And he's got a 400 OBP still. He's getting on base. There's just no power, and not enough steals. And I think it might be time to say, let's give up on the steals, and maybe time to give up on the power. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But he doesn't look like a 30 home run guy. Graham, what do you think?
He doesn't right now. I also bought a lot of Moncada for the price you paid preseason, which was what? Probably top 75 pick?
Yeah, I was going to say 85.
Top 80, 85, yeah. Like, he hasn't lived up to that billing. I'd probably, depending on where he goes, like in the second half, the rest of the way out, I would consider buying back in next year. I think he's got more power, and I think right now he's just being extremely selective at the plate. And it's probably like he's pulled back too far from where he was, which was super aggressive. But he definitely has the power there. He's just not tapping into it. That's what I see. Like, the dude's only 25, so it could just be one of those things.
I've made a huge mistake.
Graham is not willing to admit that he made a huge mistake. And you're right, he is only 25. Randy Rosarina turned 26 a couple months ago. Both these guys are in somewhat similar timelines. Deary, we're going to talk about Yohan Moncada's dance videos and his music videos in a moment. But as a player, is this somebody that you're really like, you know what? We have not seen the best of Yohan Moncada. He is only 25, but he's been in this league for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super high on him at the start of the season. I think he's a fine fantasy asset. I mean, there's a few things that he does really, really well. I mean, he's a plus player against every single pitch except the changeup. He's really, really good against the slider and the cutter and the curveball. So he hits off-speed stuff very, very well. What he hasn't done this year is he hasn't hit the fastball very well. Now, it could be because he has been extremely hesitant at the plate and a little more selective, and that's evident by his high OBP. His launch angle is down. His hard hit rate is just fine. I think we're probably going to see more from him. Now, is he going to be a 25 to 30 home run guy? I don't know. And this is where I get a little hesitant about having him on my team is if he's only going to hit 270, 280, now if you're in an OBP league, obviously his value skyrockets because, 402 this year, career 347. That's incredible. That's really, really what you're looking for in an OBP league because he walks a ton. He's very selective at the plate, like we talked about. But if he can't hit 25 home runs and give you double-digit steals, then it's going to be tough trying to find value. Obviously, he plays in a great lineup, so the runs and RBI opportunities are going to be there. And you got to remember, they're still missing the two best bats for the White Sox and Eloy and Luis Robert that, both will be back shortly here soon, but they'll be at full health next year. So, in a dynasty, I think he's a good flyer to have. He's a guy who I think probably is going to give you the value that you want, but it's just whether or not that power is going to be there. He showed it in 19 with the 25 home runs and he had double-digit steals that year, and he wasn't as selective at the plate back then. He only walked 7.2% of the time. He was striking out 27% of the time, swinging at a lot more pitches. So I think maybe this year is just one of those years where he's really starting to figure it out at the plate on what type of player he wants to be. And, it could be based on what the White Sox are looking for. They need a guy who's going to be able to get on base, be a little more selective. I'd like him to be more aggressive and maybe get that launch angle up a little more. He has the power. He hits the ball hard. So, if you draft him this year, you were depending on where you got him, you may be a little disappointed. But similar to a Rosarino, the guy's really talented. He's 25, 26 years old. Could be a guy that really, really helps you out here in the next 2 months of the season. But without those steals, that makes it kind of tough. But in OBP league, I'm buying all day on Moncada. I'm not off Moncada. I was never on Moncada either, but I think he's a fine player who can help you out in fantasy.
I'm not arguing that with you.
Good call. Moncada. We love him. But we don't love him as much as we love his videos. And this is something that Graham brought up to me a couple months ago. I wasn't even aware of it. It changed my life. His videos are ridiculous. They're so self-involved. And
Disaster personnel.
I'm unaware of these videos. He's doing like the Ed Lover dance.
Oh man, he made a music video.
Yeah, he really did. It's not a joke. I'll pull it up right now so you can at least see what it looks like. But I wonder, and people have brought this up who know about these, is he like too into that shit? Is he not really a huge baseball guy?
He's just having some fun.
Is he? That's the question,
I mean, look at the video. It looks like he had a good time. He had a good time.
Here it comes. Stand by. And this is for you podcast people. Sorry, this is where you get screwed. It's not your fault.
Well, they can hear it though.
I don't think they will. That's the problem.
Oh, they won't hear the musical stylings?
Oh wow, this is.
Can you guys hear this?
Oh yeah, it's a hell of an auto-tune fiasco.
I can't hear it.
Nah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't hear it. So even though I can hear it. Oh shit! I forgot I'm on the air. Sorry. Wow, it's so loud in my ear. I can't hear you guys. But you guys can talk about it. I'll stop talking for a minute.
His hair.
This is pretty fun.
He's just hanging out by the pool.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Yeah, he's
looking for some other revenue streams. This looks like real serious video here. Oh, he's checking his phone. Who are these other guys in the video? This is like part of his crew.
It must be part of his crew.
I want to see like
That hair is
Giolito
awesome.
out there with him. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, great. Yeah, you can turn it off now.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though.
You guys should get matching onesies like his. Is that a onesie?
This came out on February. This came out on February 17th of this year. So that was spring training was just about to start. So it looks like he spent his time before spring training. He looks. I mean, his shoulders are so impressive. He looks like a stud. He really does.
Looks like a stud. Must be a stud.
He's hit 3 bombs in his last 4 games.
I see. That's why it's interesting.
He's got 8 on the year, but 3 in the last week.
The season is far from over, and that's what I'm talking about here. We got 2 months and a week or so of action to see where he can take it to. 25 home runs are. It's definitely still in play. I really think 25 is what he hit last year, or sorry, the 2019 season.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for what you paid, like at the draft table, he's a huge disappointment. But he could recoup some of that. And if you're in a league that you can trade, I would see how upset the owner is, and he might give him away, which I'd be into.
I bet you would, Panama Red. I feel bad for the podcast listeners because they didn't get to hear it, so I'm just gonna play a sample of what it sounds like because it's so beautiful. It's actually a lovely song, and it's got a lot of flavor and heart.
Is he singing?
Yeah, I think he is singing with auto-tune.
Yeah, auto-tune city. Oh, this is like his intro guy. He's not singing yet. Oh, here we go. Now this is him. This is definitely him. How many views do you think this has, guys?
Probably a lot of views. How many views?
1 million views. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up right now. There you go, Yohan. Thumbs up for the Boatlocke podcast. Beautiful. So
I like it. I like it.
It's got a lot of pizzazz. It's got a lot of fire.
Makes you want to
and passion.
dance like you want.
Makes you want to have a great, fun night on the dance floor. Right by the tiki torches over there by the barbecue. There's tiki torches in the video, in case you guys are wondering. Because I now realize as soon as I said that tiki torches also have a racist tint ever since those assholes got those tiki torches a few years ago. They fucked it for everybody, which sucks. So, yeah, remember that, Sharp? Yeah.
Okay.
People, I mean, they'll say like, I can't believe you said tiki torches, but I didn't mean anything by it, you know.
So no Voldemort, no tiki torches, no carnies.
Voldemort? I didn't know the Voldemort part. Ryan says these videos are hilarious. So much reverb, my lord. Yeah, a lot of reverb, definitely. A lot of auto-tune. You need reverb to make it sound good.
Yeah, I was calling Bauer Voldemort.
That's what that meant. Okay, that's cool.
He who must not be named.
Oh, yeah.
Call
Mike,
911!
Mike, you've been watching those Harry Potter movies, right?
I watched all of them. I finished the series a couple weeks ago, yeah. So
Right.
kind of is all right. That's kind of dumb, I thought, you know. Like
My
that
wife
guy.
is proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Christina. I thought the guy, Christina, playing Rupert Grint kind of mailed it in there the last couple of movies. Really didn't feel like he was into it
mailed it
anymore.
in.
He did. What's his name? Fucking sidekick guy?
Harry or Bill.
No, Harry's the main guy. Who's the sidekick fuck?
Oh, Ron.
Yes, thank you. The
Ron
Weasleys.
Ron
The Weasleys.
Weasley.
Yes, the Weasleys. So, really feel like he was kind of like, dude, why am I'm a grown man now? This sucks. So, but
Well,
hey.
he probably wishes Harry Potter would come back. I don't think he's done much since.
hopefully he was smart and he banked millions and millions, but he's young, so he's not smart. We already know that instantly, right, Graham?
Sure. Yeah, there's no smart young people.
Were you smart when you were young?
Oh, absolutely not.
Exactly. See, my point. That's what I thought, you know.
Yeah.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
It's true, though. It's very true. Anyways, as far as Govier's, guys, I post them every night. I hope you guys enjoy them. It's just a simple kind of review. I'm not trying to be any special kind of guy on Twitter. I just want to... I used to do it last summer in the videos, which were much more in depth. This is a simplified version of that. Gives you like a top 8 or 9 guys who had a good night and lets you know. It also keeps me in touch with the daily stats a lot more, which is like reminds me of being young, checking the box scores in the newspaper back in like 1993 when the Detroit News was everything. Those were the days, man. I used to look at I knew every Tiger stat because it was all in that box score, and then they'd have the season stats with the pitching and the hitting, right, Deary?
Yeah, it was the only way to like get it. I mean, you watched Sports Center, but you weren't really getting like full in-depth stats of what was going on, and there's no internet back then, so that's what we were doing.
The internet, yeah. The Sports Center was for national coverage back then. I agree. All right. Oh, excuse me. Wow, that is inappropriate. All right. Now on the podcast, which is the Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's and 2 Z's.
Utah, give me 2.
We're with Graham Boatlocke live on Twitter here. We actually are live on Twitter as well, and YouTube mainly. Sub our YouTube channel. Follow Graham at Stripboat Captain. See Deary 1999, dearly beloved. MJ Govier on Twitter. You're hearing Return of the Mac on the podcast right now. Graham, did you love this song? Who doesn't love Return of the Mac?
Yeah, this is a pretty good song. Can't hate it.
You're fucking funny, man.
It reminds me of just like that era of like P Diddy like making all those like gold. Was that the golden era?
It was a lot of flash, a lot of white suits.
Exactly.
Mace was a thing back then.
Yeah, Mace, Murphy Lee.
Oh, Murphy Lee, yeah, St. Lunatics.
Yeah, there you go. All that.
That's
what that song reminds me of.
Pop rap. I don't know. Is that a thing?
We were talking about this on the Is It Safe podcast, which is another podcast I do. If you want a more raw podcast with me and some other bozos where we talk about nonsense and a lot of music, check out the Is It Safe podcast. If you like me, you'll like it. If you don't, then I don't know.
You actually release those podcasts? I've never listened to any of them. Where can I find them?
We got like 33 episodes, man.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Can you send it to me? I haven't been able to find it.
I'll send you the link. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's all on standard.
Oh, okay.
We don't have a live stream. It's just a podcast, though. That's the thing. Because some of the guys wanted to be like secret. Anyways, we were talking about party rap. Somebody said,
party rap. That's what it is.
What happened to party rap? And I was like, what the hell does that mean? And I was trying to figure out what party rap was, but I guess you kind of nailed it, Graham. This is party rap.
It gets
504 boys.
Gets people out on the dance floor. You know,
Master P.
Mace.
What's her face? Not Foxy Brown. Well, Foxy Brown, I guess too. But
Lil Kim.
Lil Kim. Brandy, and
Brandy
Aaliyah.
and Monica.
Rest in power, Aaliyah.
Mary J. Blige.
Oh, hell yeah. Monica, yeah, she was great too. But Debrat, that was definitely back then too. Remember that? Debrat. Wonder what she's doing right now. I wish I could play all these songs, but we can't do it on YouTube. But on the podcast version, you heard Return of the Mac. We're supposed to be talking about players that are returning. And there's a lot of fun players returning. Deary already mentioned Luis Roberts coming back. He started his rehab today, I believe, with single A. And we've talked about Chris Sale returning on the show. He's getting closer. The Red Sox are just going to be more powerful with, I mean, they're in first place or they're tied with the Rays. And now they get Chris Sale for the stretch run of the playoffs. That's like the best trade anybody could make at the deadline.
Are you getting Chris Sale though?
Well, not me, the Red Sox in real life.
Yeah,
are we getting him?
Are you getting Chris Sale? You know what I mean? Like
I think
Chris
so.
Sale?
I would think so.
All reports are that he's excellent, but I don't think they'd release reports if they weren't excellent.
Well, no shit, but they also really stretched this one out. This has been a longer than, like, remember Thor? Thor came back a while ago. He got hurt again. He never even made it back to the bigs yet. But
yeah, same with Sevy.
And Sale got hurt before Thor. Yeah, same thing with Sevy. So they've really been patient with Sale, and he only has to pitch these last 2 months. I think they're going to get what they wanted. I think Chaim Bloom, our Jewish brother right here, Chaim Bloom. I'm Jewish. That's how you say it right there. Chaim. L'chaim, just like L'chaim. That's what it is. I think, and if anybody thinks I'm making fun, I'm Jewish, so please, I don't know who's listening anymore. I don't want to ruin the party. I just want to have fun. He's from the Tampa. He's from the Tampa Bay organization. He's a smart motherfucker, so I think he knows what he's doing.
What are you expecting fantasy wise from Sale here down the stretch? I mean, because what's going to be interesting is, so the Red Sox are in a race here. They certainly want to win the division. They don't want to end up in that wild card game against either the Rays or, well, actually probably won't be the Rays because one of those teams are going to win the division. But you don't want to be in a 1-game playoff here against the A's or the Astros. So they're going to be going for it. I just don't know. I mean, what do you think, Graham, in terms of fantasy value here down the stretch? I don't know if he's going to come out and be going 7-8 innings. I think they're going to take it slow with him. I think in some of your leagues, maybe that you do ratios, his ratios might be great, but would you be buying in for him or looking for a trade here for the last month and a half of the season?
It's so loaded when people ask me if I'm buying. It's like, at what cost? I would guess if it's a fab league or something, what he's going to cost versus what he is likely to do is not something I'll be interested in, because somebody somewhere is going to go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just extremely conservative with how I approach these things. Like, if you drafted him back and you've held him, like, obviously keep him because you placed that bet. That's not a bet that I would place. But I mean, the reports and the stuff, like, there was a montage someone put out. It might have been Pitching Ninja or something. The stuff looks great. I mean, he's dominating these kids. Could you imagine? He was down at Complex Ball. You're like standing there as like an 18-year-old, and Chris Sale's like uncorking some absolute backfoot filth at you.
Ew.
That's hilarious. Yeah, long story short, like, Chris Sale's an alien. Like, if you look at his stats and compare it to just everything. So even if you take like his 16K per 9 and cut it back to like 13 and say he goes 3 innings a start, it's definitely useful. But I
would say so.
I think if he's available in your league, I would be pulling the old Fred Zinke. Is it Fred Zinke who always says I try to get second place on all my fab bids? That's what I'd be doing.
That's funny.
Like, I'd put in a competitive bid, and if I want him, I'd be happy, but I wouldn't be like, I have to have this guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him returning to my my DC. Yeah, I feel like my DC could still be good, and if Sale comes back and is good, that would really help me out. He has not pitched, guys. The last time he pitched, August 13th, 2019.
Like, if you're looking, like, if you're in a roto league right now and he comes back in 2 months and he's only pitching 3 innings a go round until the playoffs when they can fully deploy him, I don't know how much he's going to help you, because your ratios are your ratios. And like, what is he going to give you? Like 60 innings, best case Ontario? It's a really good reliever.
60.
That's what I'd look at it as. And if he gets to follow, he throws in some wins.
I think he get 80 innings. I think it could happen. Depends on how they use them, though. You're right. That will matter. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're really gonna want him for the playoffs and be completely healthy for the playoffs, but they also need to ramp him up for the playoffs.
You also said, Deary, they want to win the division too. They might need him for that. In fact, I know they'll need him for that.
Yeah,
that gives them incentive, and I think 80 innings is in play here. I really do. I think also expecting some of the guys that are in their staff to hold up. Like Nick Pivetta to me just seems like it can't last forever. I know he's had talent. We always thought he was a very talented pitcher. Great stuff. Killer breaking ball.
Maple Boner. He's Canadian.
You say Maple Boner?
Yeah, Maple Boner.
I was thinking of James Paxton when you said Maple Boner.
That sounds awesome. Maple Boner.
Not a nice boner slathered in maple syrup, man. That sounds delicious. Corey Seager could come back soon. Actually, Corey Seager might end up on a later show list that I have as well. Ketel Marte is getting there. Mike Trout's running the bases. Could be happening eventually. Mike Trout, man, that calf just. I feel really bad for Mike Trout. I feel like we're losing an opportunity for him to be the greatest of all time. When you throw in last year's shortened bozo season, and then this season missing a chunk of it, it's starting to, the clock's ticking. And I really thought he could be the best of all time, but now I'm a little concerned here.
Mike Trout, he probably is the best of all time.
But I want him to be numbers
metrics.
wise. I want him to be numbers wise.
Yeah, he may not end up accumulating. I mean, he still has a ton of years left in him if he can stay off the IL. I mean, he may not accumulate some of the amazing stats of, some of these other guys near the top. He probably is not going to end up with the most home runs, but at the end of his career, you look at the metrics of his stats and what he averaged over 162.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I want him to get the counting stats. I want him to take it all down. And Ryan says here, he's still only 29. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy.
Well, is he the type of player where past 35 he's going to be trash? I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't seem like he has that type of makeup. I mean,
he's not going to be trash. It's just these injuries. The injuries have been popping up here over the last couple of years. If you start going back and looking, they've been somewhat of a problem over the last 4 years at least. And he's still amazing, of course. But in terms of being a number one pick, I don't think we'll ever see him be the number one pick again.
No, there's too much young dynamic talent and the need for speed.
Oh man, I wish I had the Top Gun drop for that. No one's ever said that on the show. Damn it! Sorry, dude, I let you down. That's Top Gun 2, wasn't that coming out? Maverick, isn't that supposed to be coming out by now? What happened to that?
Pretty soon.
Oof. You think that'll be good? There's no way that's good. Yeah,
I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer can barely even talk, yet he's in the movie.
He is in the movie?
Yeah, he's like a general now.
Oh man, dude!
Maybe it's just they just show his face, but he's got a voice box and everything.
Tony Scott's dead. He's fucked up. Cruz is older. There's no way this is good. I don't know who's directing it, but no, you're right. It's gonna be trash. It's gonna be this, classic nostalgia grab. Like, hey, kids, remember this shit? Now you're adults. Spend all your money on us. And that's how it goes. That's what we are. We're all fucking shills.
Did you guys get played out by Space Jam 2?
You think I never saw Space Jam 1. I never saw it. I have no desire to see Space Jam 2.
It's for kids.
I saw Space Jam 1. It was pretty great.
The Bill Murray parts are great.
I was that age too, right? I don't know how old I was, but I remember when it happened and I thought it was super cool.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, you were younger, yeah. We were 16-ish by then. Who cares?
I saw it for the first time last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It's just it's not for me, man. And Michael Jordan, actors, Looney Tunes. I love Looney Tunes are fun. I know Foghorn Leghorn might not be cool anymore. I've heard that, but
they run out of Mike's secret stuff. That's what makes them super good basketball players. It's like his serum. So Bugs Bunny just puts water in the water bottle and gives it to them all, and they all believe in themselves. And that's the lesson. You just have to believe.
No way.
Huh. Well, that sounds pretty lame. I got to tell you that much. But I'm not a child, and I don't want to ruin anything. So.
Mike, you want to go see Guns N' Roses next month just to hear him say that, and we can leave?
Yes, I would love that. That'd be. Are they playing next month?
They're coming. I don't know when it is. They're coming to Comerica. I don't know if it's this year or next year. I just know they're coming to Comerica.
Those are pricey tickets. They came a couple years ago, like twice, and it was always so expensive.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I just didn't know what was going on. I would have been interested.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. I made that very clear.
I don't think Axl Rose knows what's going on either.
I think he's actually the most lucid he's ever been. I would disagree with that. I really would.
Okay.
Yeah. He's really if you watch all the old if you watch this video and then you watch the other one where he says, "Thanks for lame ass security. I'm going home." It seems like he's changed a lot. Those were all earlier, 91, late 80s, early 90s. He's come a long way. He shows up on time and he makes the shows now. I feel like he's found some peace in his life, Graham.
Good for him. I'm happy.
Me too.
Actually, that sounded so sarcastic. It wasn't intended that way.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, depending on, people don't know you that well. So I'm glad you said that. I think it's important to clarify, keep it real. And I know one thing about you, dude. You have a great sense of humor, but you're also an honest fella. And I think that really could have gone either way. I don't know how the society took it, but I appreciated it.
Say, boy, you cover about as much as a flapper skirt in a high wind.
What is
These drops are outstanding.
What does that mean? What is this?
Say, boy, you cover about as much as a flapper skirt in a high wind.
Is a flapper skirt like what the women in the 30s, the flappers
20s.
would wear?
Yeah,
20s?
the flappers. Is that what he said? Well,
Yeah.
So it doesn't cover in the high wind.
Okay. That's an old ass reference. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
I won't be that guy again. I
Probably
promise.
canceled now. You can't say whatever he said.
Foghorn? Shit, man. He's a bozo. I don't know. If Foghorn is canceled, I didn't know any better, and I apologize for that. All right. This is the Hey, it's Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I'm Michael Govier. He's Christopher Deary, and that's Graham Boatlocke, the Canadian. Follow him at the Shrimp Captain, MJ Govier, and C Deary 1999. It's time for...
Are you calling me Graham Boatlocke? Because that's a pretty funny play on Shrimp Boat Captain.
Yeah, why am I doing that?
My last name is Blakelock.
Why am I saying Boatlock again?
Because it's funny.
4 times.
I'm into it. Like it goes with the boat theme. It's fucking nautical.
Boatlock. Yeah, Boatlock. All right, Boatlock. It's time for Enrico's Inquisition. Are you ready for this?
As I'll ever be.
Good. Deary, I fixed the intro, so we're back to good now.
What does that mean? What was wrong with it?
Oh, it used to have Trevor Bauer in it.
To deal with a manipulative person or a callous
Baltimore.
Wow, this is deep into my psyche.
Alan Trammell or Lou Whitaker?
Oh, I knew you were going to hit me with that.
The 1988 Dodgers or the 2020 Dodgers?
Oh, the 1988, by far. It was the happiest moment of my sports life. That was my first gut moment.
Nelly, get ready for some doozies, because it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, Enrico's Inquisition.
Alrighty, we are in with Graham Boatlocke, Mr. Boatlocke, also known to his friends. And we're talking Enrico's Inquisition. That means we're talking about stuff that's not really baseball related for the most part. And we always started off, Graham, who do you love when it comes to music? Artists, groups, anybody. But give it to us. Give us some of your faves.
Oh, man. That's so loaded. I typically listen to a lot of hip-hop and stuff now, but my musical tastes and interests came from like blues and jazz, and I ended up somewhere really starting to dig on like sampling and just not that I make music or anything, but yeah, sampling and beats and stuff like that. So like I like, I don't know, I like a lot of rap.
And some of those names would be...
Oh, you want artists. I like I like Jay Dilla. I like The Roots. I like
What's the one you told me about a while ago? Remember that?
What did I tell you about? Was it Jay Dilla? We were talking about Detroit music. I can't recall exactly.
You gave me a deep cut I'd never heard before, and I can't remember who it was though at all because it was like 6 months ago.
Was it like Clear Soul Forces, their rap group from Detroit?
It was it was a song you wanted me to listen to, but it wasn't
Apollo
Detroit.
Brown.
I don't know if it's Detroit related. I really don't. It was like a message, like, "Oh, dude, you got to check this out." Oh, here it is. Yeah, Immortal Technique.
Oh man, yeah. What song was it?
The Message and the Money.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The Message and the Money, and You Ain't Got Either. Remember that? Yeah, I listened to it. Like Immortal Technique is he's an interesting rapper. He's changed a lot of his style, but back when I was a teenager, I really liked Revolutionary Volume 1 and 2, his first 2 albums. He's kind of like really angry to listen to. I can't really listen to it anymore. It makes me angry.
Aww. Dude, do you know Immortal Technique is? Did you know that one?
No.
I like Audio Slave, like rock music like that too.
I just thought all Canadians listened to like Rush, Neil Young, and the Tragically Hip.
Yeah, that's cool.
Boy.
Neil Young's cool.
Don't forget the Guess Who, man.
I saw Neil Young a little while ago.
You ever seen the Guess Who?
No.
Great. It's a great Canadian band right there. Guess Who have the courage to be drunken buffoons. That's why they're courageous. Ryan says, who's worse, Vince Neil or Axl Rose? It's clearly Vince Neil.
Vince Neil's, yeah, absolutely.
He's a piece of shit. Hey, Vince Neil, you're a piece of shit.
Get him.
Yeah, I did it.
Who else? I listened to a lot of Redman lately.
Redman.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Redman. How High? How High is a classic movie, by the way.
He's a super underrated rapper. He's got sweet flows, sweet style. I don't know. I like it. I dig it.
So you make beats?
I don't make beats. I just enjoy beats.
But you don't make beats?
I grow beats in my garden.
You ever beat off?
No, I've never done that.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pants, you sick fuck.
That's right. Catholic guilt's coming for you.
Canadians, there's a lot of Catholics in Canada. It's really surprisingly annoying.
Seemingly a lot of Catholics everywhere. That's actually kind of a hot
everywhere. No offense, Catholics, by the way.
That's a huge thing right now here. Hey, the residential schools like stuff.
Oh yeah, man. They've fucking took it to the natives like a piece of shit scumbags they are, man.
They killed a lot of kids in the name of Jesus. They're
I read all about that recently. It was fucking brutal. It was a whole, not surprising because if America killed all the natives, why wouldn't the Canadians do the same thing? Yeah, it was the Catholics specifically.
I don't know if it was the Catholics specifically.
I thought it was. That was the whole point. It was Christians for sure. It was definitely Christians.
Yeah, it was definitely Christians.
They created those schools.
Yeah, the crazy part is it's government sanctioned. That's what's really upsetting to me, anyway. Well, I mean, besides the dead kids, that's not upsetting.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all.
That's a dark joke.
If you know anything about history, you know the truth around here, man. Shit's fucked up. It's always gonna be fucked up, and the people who are gonna pay the price for it are likely non-whites because they always have. That's the North American way. Always has been. Always will be. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Just telling you. Check
North American scum.
Yeah, look at your fucking history books. First off, don't look at your history books. You got to go beyond your history books because they're not going to tell you dick. So, especially if you live in Texas or something like that, it's going to be even worse. Boy, this is getting depressing. Let's switch it up. Let's
going back to music. I like Led Zeppelin too.
What's your favorite Led Zeppelin song then? What would it be?
Oh,
you can't say Stairway to Heaven, obviously.
No, it's not Stairway to Heaven. I always like Led Zeppelin 2.
That's an album.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of a song on there.
I don't even. I get all their numbers mixed up because they did it all so weird like that. I honestly don't know.
Ramble On's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I just like how progressive like those tracks all are. They like build and drop, and they've got their sweet little like spacey fucking interludes in there, and I don't know.
I love Ramble On. That's like one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs right now.
Yeah,
so lovely. Got that easy going, kind of stroking the guitar for a while.
The drums in that are really good.
Yeah, I like that one, and I like Heartbreaker too. That's a good one.
Yeah, Heartbreaker's a good one.
Is that what that one's called? Is that what it's called?
I'm not thinking of. I think that's on 2.
I'm not thinking of Jenna Jameson here.
No. Yeah,
that was a deep joke. Did you not? You're Canadian. Maybe you didn't beat off to Jenna Jameson, but a lot of Americans did.
Jenna Jameson? I've heard the name.
It was a joke. She had a heartbreaker tattoo on her butt. That's why I said that. So,
did she?
Common knowledge. She doesn't hide it because she's on video many times with that butt and the tattoo having sex. And that's cool. I'm pro sex worker. I'm pro porn.
Nice.
I want to get that on the record.
You should go on the Bachelor or the Bachelorette.
I am not cool enough.
I don't think they do it for men in their 40s.
The girl on there right now. That seems to be how they're like. She's different from all the previous ones because she's like sex positive.
Oh, well, that's cool. I've never watched that shit, and I don't give a fuck at all. So, but that's cool for you if you and your wife or you and your son, if you enjoy that.
Yeah, my son and I, we watched The Bachelor.
He's not born yet, but if he was, if your son was born, I don't know. Some people call their, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, man.
People call their kids already. I don't know. Maybe they do.
Oh.
Is someone pregnant? Because I don't know.
Yeah, my wife's pregnant.
I knew that, but I didn't know if it's a secret. I was trying to give you a chance to get out of it if I said too much.
Oh, I just figured we'd out with it.
Oh, great. Cool. Congratulations. So you can be a first-time father, and you're a brand new husband. That's a lot going on, Graham.
There's a lot going on.
There is.
Life is fucking hectic.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have it any other way, would you?
No, I'm going to take down the NFBC 50, maybe.
Be a nice prize. It would be a nice prize. I agree.
Yeah.
Would you rather be stabbed or arrested?
Whew. I'll be arrested.
Deary, by the way,
what
Chris...
am I being arrested for?
Yeah, see, no, people don't always ask that, but if you do ask that, it opens a box that could be quite dangerous for you. So
you're going to be out of commission for a year, whether you're stabbed or arrested.
I'll take the, well, if I go to prison, I might get prison shanked.
No, you're going to county jail. You're not going to prison.
Yeah, no one ever thought of that either.
Get arrested and stabbed all in 1 year.
Chris, our previous guest on today's show this afternoon, he had actually been stabbed. He showed me the scar, so that was fun. It was the first time we had that on the show.
Yeah, I don't know. That Tommy Pham thing looks unpleasant. I think I'd just go do a year at a time.
It comes up every time now. People will never forget that he got stabbed at a strip club. Tommy Pham, you're still a good baseball player. You've had a whale of a season too, man. You've stayed pretty healthy, which is shocking to me because I expect you to be hurt a lot, and he really has not been all that hurt. So I got to give it up to the guy. I do. The changeup, the slider, or the curveball. Which do you prefer?
I like sliders.
Hey!
I like change-ups. I used to love fucking watching not even that long ago Marco Estrada. When he threw change-ups for the Jays when it was on, he was ridiculous.
That's how he got all his Ks, right? He would strike out a lot of dudes sometimes.
Yeah, two-pitch guy. I don't know. Sliders are just nasty though. It's fun to watch. You kind of smile a little. All three are nice, but I guess if I have to pick one, I go slider.
That's fair. I respect that. I like the changeup. I think it's a fun pitch. It'd just be so cool to throw one with. You'd have to have the heat to match it to make it any cooler. So, don't have that. I never will. I did play softball tonight, and I caught a ball, but I didn't make any throwing plays. I was asked to play third in the first inning, and I turned it down. And I regret doing that because then they put this girl over there who was she was worse than me. I could have got the job done. I didn't know what my competition was though. So, and it wasn't because she's a girl. It's just because she wasn't as good as me. That's all. I'm not saying.
Mike, you don't want to play third.
I don't. That's why I turned it down. But
I won't even play. I've played infield my whole life. I will not play third in softball unless I play on the edge of the grass.
I agree, dude. But it was so fucking funny. I turned it down. So then she's like, "Okay, you could play catcher." I'm like, "Shit!" Now I'm catching, the worst place possible to be. But then the first two plays, a soft liner to third, a soft, easy one. I was like, oh, fuck, I definitely could have caught that. And then a soft ground ball to third. I could have got that one too. And then there was a force-out play thrown to third. I'm like, I could have made all those plays. So, I don't know. But maybe if I had not been there, they wouldn't have happened.
You just put your first teammate on blast. First game.
Well, I'm all new to them. They don't know who I am, and they definitely don't listen to my podcast. And Lucy, if you're out there, I apologize. I think you were a fine player, and you really came up with some great hits, especially in the second game. So I give you credit for that. I'll I'm a softball freak now, dearie. I'm playing Wednesdays and now I'm playing Sundays twice. I'm everywhere now.
I thought about getting back into it for like a second, then I'm like, fuck that.
It's good to be outside. We spent a lot of time indoors last year. It's nice just to be out there. It feels, I have a whole new perspective about it, Graham. I used to get pretty angry and shit, and now I took many years off, about 7 years. Now I'm back, and I just like to be able to play, and I like to be able to be in the field. And that's what's cool about playing with these new teams, is they let me play in the field as much as I want. And on the Sunday team, I'm like really good. I'm like one of the best players, which is weird because it's like a really low-class league. So I fit perfectly. I'm like maybe the second best player.
Nice.
Which is a good feeling to have. But it's not about that. It's just about being out there, meeting new people. They let me play. They brought me into their realm. And if you guys have been locked up for a while out there, I know a lot of you have, great to get outside. I would recommend it. I really would. It's just nice. Feels good. Strongly recommend. We're talking with Graham Boatlocke, not Boatlocke, in Rico's position. Graham, what's your biggest regret?
Oh my goodness. Probably going to school for as long as I did. That's harsh. That's harsh. This is me going to school as long as I did.
That's an instant regret. You
led
instantly
to
regret what you just said.
Yeah, there you go. That's the biggest one. It led to me being the well-adjusted lunatic that I am today. I don't know what my biggest regret is. I don't think about regrets. I'm going forward.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive. I give you credit for that. I don't know if other people are like you, but damn, I'm impressed.
Genius, genius, genius.
Do you envy America? Do you wish you were a United States citizen?
Not really, no. I've never thought about that.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
What?
You sound like an elitist American now, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I do?
Like I don't know. I'm Canadian. This is what I know. It's cool.
I wish I was Canadian. I don't want to be an American anymore. So I'd happily be a Canadian. I just thought people thought like that, but I apologize.
Well,
I'm making assumptions.
I think people think like that if they're coming from somewhere of like less like social wealth or just like general wealth. Like I think that's why there's the general like migration and want to go to the United States, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. That's fair. I'll give you that.
You know what? I have an idea. Jerk off party? No.
All right. And finally, Graham. Oh, wait, two things. Mental health, anxiety, depression, these things that come up and they crop up and they can really bury us. You very much believe in being open and honest about mental health, don't you?
I do. Is there a follow-up to that?
Nope. I just want to verify that.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to talk about.
Good.
Yeah.
Make sure when you have a child that you carry on that tradition.
We'll do so. I think the biggest thing about being a parent, and I don't know, somebody tell me I'm wrong, or at least in my brain, is I just don't want them to turn into a serial killer. And I hope I hope that I don't raise like that monster, you know what I mean? So we'll talk
roll
about
the dice.
We'll talk about our feelings and stuff.
Child, please.
Wow, man, I don't want that to happen for you either. I think we're all on the same page there. And finally, for love or money?
I've never had a lot of money. I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Is that what everybody says? That's probably what everybody says.
You better lock it up.
Yeah, I'll take love.
That's fine. You can say whatever you want. Don't feel like you're pigeonholed. But I appreciate that. You seem like a love guy, not a money guy. We all need money. We want money. And we want you to win the NFBC 50 overall championship. That would be some nice cash. But in the meantime, on the Hans Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast, presented by RotoFanatic.com.
Utah.
Go to RotoFanatic.com and check out that data monster. Also, check out Michael Richards' latest article. It's the top 20 prospects for each team in the AL Central. So all 5 teams, top 20 prospects for each team. Very cool. Tigers, Twins, Royals, White Sox, and Cleveland. All right, let's get into some fantasy talk here, and then we'll get the hell out of here and move on with our lives. So you've been digging on Orlando Arcia, which I just think it's a dangerous place to be. Orlando Arcia is perennially a solid defender, but a shit hitter. Sometimes he goes on some streaks, but he's not somebody you can roster for a full season or even half a season. I just don't see it.
Right now? No,
Yeah.
there's probably not much there. Like if you're in a really deep league and you're trying to get something going, you're just trying to get at bats. I think he's going to get at bats the rest of the way. My thing, I was just thinking along the lines of Dynasty. I like looking at roster resource on Fangraphs. I like looking at the payroll tab. So he and Dansby Swanson are both going into their third year of arbitration. And Dansby Swanson made $6 million this year, and he'll probably want more. And the Braves are...
But how much more would he get, though?
I don't know. But the Braves are kind of cheap.
Million?
The Braves are kind of cheap, and they're ran by Anthopoulos, and I'm familiar with his ways.
I see what's going on here.
And they can probably get a similar level of defender and a similar aged, both highly touted at one point, was Swanson and Arcia. I could see a world where he is their starting shortstop next year. And if he is a starting shortstop in a 15-team dynasty league type thing, I think he could be valuable next year. Or say you're picking in a DC and you take him in like the 43rd round or something, and suddenly you've got the Braves starting shortstop, or you've got a bag of poo, which you are likely to get in the 43rd round of a DC anyway. So
bag of poo.
Wow, dude.
But he's got power speed, like maybe a bit.
That is bullshit.
In 2017, he really did something special. He had 14 steals, 15 bombs, and he hit 277. This is in 548 plate appearances. I was like, wow, this guy's on his way. But after that,
yeah,
that's why he's no longer a Brewer. The Brewers ended up trading for Willy Adames now because it didn't work out with him. And he was a highly touted prospect. He was, but he started making less contact. Strikeout rate went up after that fun season, and obviously he showed no pop after that. But he did have another 15 homer, only 8 steal season in 2019 where he hit 223. The BABIP was way lower, so he's probably not as bad as 2019 with the 253 BABIP, but he might not be as good as the 317 BABIP in 2017. Maybe somewhere in the middle. But if he's a guy that can hit 15 home runs and steal double-digit steals in a deeper dynasty league, he has value.
Yeah, I just think that's where you make your money. Like that's really where you bail hay. You get the guys that no one wants, who like you got to catch a little bit of lightning with them. But like look at Ryan McMahon. Like everybody wrote Ryan McMahon and his 40% K rate last year off. But it's like Ryan McMahon was a highly touted prospect who's still like 26. Arcia could be in the same boat, although admittedly Arcia is like not the hitter that McMahon ever was touted to be.
No, yeah,
could just be poo, but like that's like you're paying nothing to roll the dice.
Deary, this guy wants to talk about Derek Hill. Derek Hill, the Detroit Tigers. Now, okay. I don't know what else we could offer you. You're a dynasty player, Graham, so you're involved. You know who Derek Hill is. You know that the Tigers have lesser than position players. More likely, their prospects that are the best ones are the pitchers, except Riley Green, of course, who was got, and obviously Spencer Torkelson, who's a hero now. But Deary, what do we think of Derek Hill here? What can we tell our pal Graham about Derek Hill?
Well, he's been in the system for a very long time. We drafted him out of high school. We're just now seeing him in the majors this year. We saw a little bit of him in 2020. For his first 6 years in the minors, I mean, he was a light-hitting center fielder, an incredible defensive center fielder, but he struck out a ton. And a little bit of speed, which is nice. He did have 35 steals back in 2018. And 2019 in AA was his best season. He did have 14 home runs, so he showed a little pop in the bat. I think he's probably going to get a lot of run for the rest of this season because they want a strong defender in center field. They got injuries all over the place, and they like putting Baddoo out in the corner. In terms of like a dynasty, I just don't know how this guy's going to fit on this squad. I mean, I expect Riley Green to be up next year and take over that center field spot at some point. And you got Baddoo in left field, and barring any trade, Robbie Grossman's going to be a right fielder next year because he'll be back for another year. So I don't know what you can get from Derek Hill. I mean, right now he's doing just fine. 29 plate appearances. He's 17% walk rate. He is batting 304, but like I don't think he's going to put it out of the park. The stolen bases is what is nice, and I think he is going to get some run here. So maybe he can get you a little bit of value in terms of stolen bases, but I also think he's going to end up striking out a lot. He struck out a lot in the minors, and he's going to see a lot better pitching here in the AL Central. Now the Tigers over the next 3 weeks, they have an incredible schedule. They have like the best schedule in the majors in terms of July. Like they're probably going to end up getting to 500. So he's probably not going to see the best starting pitching. But yeah, in terms of value for like Dynasty, I would stay away and sure, take a flyer if you want to get some stolen bases when he does play over the next few weeks. But I was actually shocked to see him on the sheet. I was like, oh my God, someone wants to talk about Derek Hill. This is fun.
Graham's a Dynasty nerd. He can't help himself. There you go, Graham. There's nothing else to know about Derek Hill. He can steal some bags. There's no potential for power. Everything's fucked.
In redraft too, though, like rest of the way, if you're chasing speed, like he's got 6 steals in like how many 29 plate appearances? You say?
Yeah.
Can you believe that the Detroit Tigers lead the American League in steals?
It is unbelievable. It really is.
It's so weird.
It's a very strange time. We've never been known for that, Graham. It's never been our thing.
Over under 12 more steals rest of season. Derek Hill. Under?
Oh, under. Yeah.
He's not going to get on base enough.
I see less playing time for him. I just don't see it. I don't see him getting enough opportunity still. But hey, if they do ship out some guys, he could play the rest of the way. You might be right about that. I don't know.
Over under 8.
I'm still going to barely take the under, but.
I mean, I think he's going to get more playing time than like a Victor Reyes.
See what the party, Victor.
And Mazzara's gone now, so that was a funny.
Come on.
That was a funny experiment.
Yeah, it didn't work out. What do you know? Renato Nunez and Omar Mazzara, who were both signed in like February or March. Hey, cool, man. It's gonna be big. It's all shit. All trash. Waste of all of our times. Just like Nomar Mazzara's career has been. Sorry, Nomar. I know it's not cool. And I never played Major League Baseball, so you have that advantage over me? Don't worry about that. You're still going to be cooler than I am. All right, we're talking about fantasy baseball. That's why you listen to our show. Jonathan India. I love Jonathan India. And I think he's going to continue to get better. They love him. They want to play him. He gets leadoff opportunities. I'm a big fan. I'm all in. And you mentioned here a kind of battle between Jesse Roche, and then you want to talk about Brendan Rodgers as well. So are you kind of asking who would you rather have here? Is that what you want to talk about, Graham?
Yeah, yesterday, Eric Cross and Jesse Roche were going back and forth about Brendan Rodgers versus Jonathan India. I happen to love both players.
I do too. Dear, you want to be the tiebreaker on this? Because we both love them.
I like both players too. I mean, Rodgers is finally getting the opportunity, and if he can stay healthy, I mean, they both play in great parks.
What's it called?
Yeah, you can let me know.
Tours.
Yeah, there's. But Brendan Rodgers has been
I'm
mostly
the
healthy
here, but I can't.
He's been mostly healthy this year, Deary, and it's been okay. I was expecting, hey, he's healthy. He's going to start taking it up a notch to show us what he's made of, but I was a little more wild a couple weeks ago, but after the last couple weeks, I've been less wild. No home runs since July 1st. The steals are non-existent. There's no steals at all. And
yeah, India's got a little bit of speed.
Yeah, I think rest of season it's India. I think
guys turn it on.
Rodgers is super tentative since he did his hammy so bad in spring training, though. I actually wonder if he ever fully recovered from that.
Well, we would know more if they end up shutting him down. Then we might know more about that. And the Rockies have actually played some of these guys more regularly, which has been exciting. I mean, I have Brendan Rodgers on a couple teams. One's a keeper, another's a redraft, and they're both head-to-head leagues. And I've been using him. I liked him. I had him even in a 12-team OC for a bit, but I cut ties there because he wasn't carrying the weight as he should. Jonathan India can do it all, man, and he seems motivated. He's been given the opportunity after they just said, hey, we got nobody here. We're going to play Jonathan India. And he kind of slipped by a bit because he was a first-round pick a few years ago, but he wasn't getting the opportunity initially. But now he kind of came into it in a way where they said, hey, we drafted you for a reason. We're going to give you the opportunity. And he's cashing it in. And The Reds' offense is dynamite. Unfortunately, Nick Castellanos has a microfracture in his wrist, so that's going to be a problem. But the Reds still have a lot of bangers in that offense. And even Deary said a couple weeks ago, or last week, was it? He said Eugenio Suarez would have a great second half. You liked him rest of the season, so...
Yeah, I think he's going to end up having to move up in that lineup with Castellanos being out. But, like, it's a great situation for India to be in. If he's leading off, you got Jesse Winker right behind him. Jesse Winker's a basher who can also just get on base a ton. They need Castellanos to come back, but I think, that lineup in Cincinnati is going to continue to improve. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in the offseason, if Votto retires, what's going to happen with, some other guys in the lineup. But I think in a dynasty, I'm probably leaning towards India. I like the fact that he can steal bases as well.
Well, he's an OBP hero too. That's the best part. Right, Graham?
Yeah, his walk rate's what, like 14% or something? 14%?
I think Rogers is only like 6 or 7.
Yeah, Rogers' calling card's always been contact over discipline.
India walked everywhere. That was not the problem. He still hasn't shown. The home run rate is kind of basically where it's been. It's slightly ahead right now. But he plays at a ballpark where the ball can get out a little bit more. I think if he hits 15 home runs in a season, that would be pretty impressive. That would be unusual, frankly.
Who?
Jonathan India to hit 15 home runs.
How many has he got?
8.
Oh, I was going to say I'd take the over, but if he's only got 8.
Yeah, he's only got 8 home runs, man, and the steals are 7. He looks like a 15-15 guy in reality, but in OBP leagues he bumps way up because he's got over 400 OBP.
Is he mashing doubles? Is he hitting gap power? That's something I love looking at. Like I'll take a guy who hits like 35, 40 doubles. Like I love that kind of player.
He's only got 13 doubles. That's not much, really. He's got 340 plus plate appearances. So,
well, maybe he really. Oh shit, man! Yeah, he never really hit for much power, even in the low minors.
That's why he fucked around. Like, hey, dude, we drafted you high. You're not really being the guy we thought you would be. I still think this is a tighter race in dynasty terms, right? I mean, Rogers and India are kind of, in the long term, if we're looking at like, hey, 28 years old, they're still very tight. It's not a no-brainer.
Until the Rockies decide they're not going to play Rogers and they're going to sit on him for another couple more years.
Coors.
God damn it, anyway. Way to kill the party, but you're right. That's what happens. John Means is a sticky, icky turd. He's no good. Sell his ass. That's a quote from Graham Boatlocke.
That is a quote. I put that in the outline. John Means sucks.
You're not a fan.
So
do you think he was relying on the sticky, icky stuff?
Oh, absolutely he was. And in his first start there last night. So I was I had this premonition that he was going to suck because there was a lot of rhetoric around how he used sticky substances. And I don't fault him. I'm not calling him a cheater. Like if that's the culture and you want to use sticky shit and everyone does it and you're told to use sticky shit, then use sticky shit. But now that he can't use sticky shit, I think that his breakout from 2 years ago was significantly aided by that because he was primarily a 2-pitch guy and his changeup played up so much because he was able to increase the spin and the command of his fastball. And
the right spin, right panic of 2021.
Yeah, man. It is. And his issue before, the little breakout that he did end of last season and this season now, was the home run rate, which he was able to deal with. I'm assuming I'd have to dig more into it through the command of his fastball, which I'm painting this narrative to say that he was getting from the sticky shit. And last night he was down like 200 RPM on his fastball and he gave up 2 bombs. The Rays were just plastering him.
It was the Rays. Yeah, I mean,
decent good offense. Yeah, Randy took him deep.
So the guy who threw a no-hitter this year he's not even that guy anymore.
I don't think so. He was only throwing like 92, 93.
Hey, he's not a dominant pitcher.
So if his stuff is ticking down like that, like he doesn't have that rise, like I'm sure guys are licking their chops. What was Donaldson saying? That's good hitting or something?
I don't know. He's a dick.
Oh, he's definitely a dick. But that like WWE style interview that he held when he held office about Giolito being a sticky icky was amazing.
It was funny. I give you that. He's also a former Blue Jay, so I thought you had a special place in your heart for him.
Oh,
it was
I do.
a great season. He was here. MVP.
I'm biased
even.
as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a fucking MVP there. It's crazy. Isn't that weird, dear? Josh Donaldson was an MVP once.
I loved him for many, many years. I had him in Dynasty, and then it all kind of fell apart. It's fun to listen to a guy that's playing for a last place team bitch about all these other players.
What about Tuki Toussaint? People are getting excited. He came up through a decent start. Wasn't even that great a start. And you're not the only person I've heard from, Graham. Mike Curlin said something. Some other guys in a chat I'm involved in said, "Oh shit, Tuki Toussaint party! Woohoo! Yippee!" Are we that excited? I don't think it's cautious optimism.
Yeah, it's like Arcia. It's just like Arcia. former highly touted dude who's like written off in everyone's mind as a guy with massive command and control problems, which he still probably has. But if he's up and he's striking guys out and he's going 4 or 5 innings to start, 6 innings, you went like 7 last night.
He went 6 2/3, yeah. And
like you're talking about Moncada looking like a broad-shouldered dude. Fucking Toussaint's ass is huge now. Dude's been doing squats, man.
Damn! Yeah, that's a fine ass, son. Look at that ass, Tuki. He's 25 years old, 6'3", 215 accordingly, but that ass is all junk in the trunk. Looking good. He's a sexy dude. He's also a first-round pick back in the day of 2014.
This guy's been around forever.
He's only 25, though. It's weird.
I know. Yeah, it's similar to Derek Hill. He's still young, yet he was drafted in 2014. It's crazy. He was drafted at 18.
Yeah, he had a life as a Diamondback briefly, and he's been with the Braves forever. Was he part of the Swanson trade or not? Was that the secondary trade with the Shelby Miller trade?
Tuki?
It was one of the worst trades ever. Yeah, because he was
around 2015 is when he went to the Braves.
Must have been a different trade. It was close. It's around the same time. Anyways, Deary, Tuki Toussaint, he throws a nice outing, 5 Ks, limits contact, 6 2/3. That's solid. We've seen a lot of one-offs, though, especially from Atlanta. Tucker Davidson, Kyle Muller, all these guys, they come up with these one-offs. They just keep retreading these arms. Anybody's worth a shot, but
yeah, this is
stability.
This is a rotation that's just like piecing it together. But Graham said it best. I mean, this guy could not stay away from the walks. I mean, you just look at some of these years here where he had, a lot of innings. We're looking at 4.83, 4.99, 6.35 and more limited action. So he has an issue with hitting the strike zone. I think we're going to talk about Blake Snell here. And if you can't hit the strike zone, you're going to suffer at the big league level. And this is why this guy hasn't been able to, he got a short cup of coffee in 19 and 20, but this is probably why we haven't really seen the guy, because he can't throw strikes.
It's all true. And anytime he's been up here, if you look at his stat pass page, it's not great either. But I would disregard the purple from the 2020 Bozo season because that doesn't matter. But people are desperate for pitching. They always are, especially in the stretch run here. I would wait it out. I kind of see what happens with the trade deadline and see if there's some other opportunities that prop up. I wouldn't go rushing out there to spend multiple dollars on Tuki Toussaint. But then again, you could miss the boat on a guy who could be great for the stretch run. So what the fuck do I know? I'm just some bozo on a podcast.
It can come together really quick too. Like my favorite Patio Sandy V. Patrick O'Sullivan.
Oh, Patrick O'Sullivan.
Is it O'Sullivan? It's Patrick Sullivan. No, what's his name?
Patrick Sandoval?
Patrick Sandoval. Yeah, of the Angels.
Yeah, of course.
Man,
yeah.
I fucked up my old joke. Oh wow, that was bad.
God damn it! He was on Ryan's Bloom boards in the preseason with guys like Nate Evaldi, who've also had a great season this year, and like Max Scherzer, some big time players. So I was looking at Sandoval, but he didn't get the opportunity right away. But once he's got the opportunity this year, you're right. He's been pretty damn good, man, and almost elite at times.
Yeah. He's just
So you're right.
like really athletic arms usually they can find it later, like 26, 27. Just trying to fix their deliveries.
Yeah, that's true. Charlie Blackmon, why the fuck do we want to talk about Charlie Blackmon? Because he's going to get traded?
I don't know. Is Charlie Blackmon a buy? Is Charlie Blackmon a buy? Are you guys buying Chuck Nasty?
You should. if you're in the playoff hunt or if you're trying to win a league and you could trade for him, I would, yes. Because the numbers are so low that they can't finish the season this badly. The law of averages says that he's going to have a nice second half. Even stole a base yesterday or the day before that. Even. So
he got 2 on the season.
Coors.
So I think absolutely he's a buy. He's totally a buy. Do it. He's going to get traded too.
His ISO is like 100.
114.
Yeah.
This is a big drop off too. So I can see why you'd be paranoid. But I think he's depressed. You know, he's spent so many years there.
He's 35. He's not depressed. He's just getting old.
He's getting old too. But I think there's a second half in there. But he is old, and last year was a short bozo season, as we know. So I don't know, man. I would buy, but I wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't spend a bunch. I wouldn't get crazy. I wouldn't give a top notch prospect. I think that depends where he goes, though, Deary.
I would buy as well. I expect him to probably get traded to a contender, and I think he's a guy who could still probably bat for a decent average. And if he goes to a contender and is somewhere near the top of the lineup, because he doesn't strike out, he's career 16% strikeout. You know, he's able to get on base. He has the highest walk rate of his career, so he can give you a good average and score a bunch of runs. Not going to put it out of the park or steal bases anymore, but I would buy because it's going to be really, really low right now.
It's just weird that he has 5 home runs. He had 32 in the last full season of 2019. That's pretty crazy, man. And the walk rate's up.
Yeah.
Way up.
Cut that beard. Maybe that's what it is.
The steals were always over, but the fact that the power, especially in Coors, is drained, I wonder if the humidor is having bigger effects. I mean, we're not seeing psycho scores from there either. It's really interesting. You know, with
Trevor Story's only got like 11 home runs.
Right. See? When Crosby Spencer, my pal Rotofanatic, was on the show a while ago. I think last month he talked about the humidor and the humidity and the impact it had at all the ballparks. A really interesting work. You can go back and check that out. Go to rotofanatic.com. Follow him on Twitter at Crosby Spencer #1. Got some good information there. And maybe they've really started to, reduce the power. I'm very curious to see how the rest of the season plays out, especially with the dog days of summer and all that shit coming up here. Blake Snell, fucking Blake Snell. God damn it. What a disappointment he's been.
What the fuck?
I
I
called it. I wanted nothing to do with him at the start of the season.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And he has been an absolute disaster. He's been a puzzle, a baffler. We're absolutely baffled by this guy. And it's all because of the command stuff. Like you already mentioned that. That's pretty much the story here. Because he has these games where he's dominant against good teams too. But then he just doesn't have it. It seems to be a mechanical / mental thing, I would guess, because he has these dominant outings. Then he goes sideways, right?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty just agnostic in when I look at players. Like, not that the Rays don't give away good players. Like, look at Jake Cronenworth, but like, I think they knew. Same with Cleveland. Like when Cleveland trades a pitcher, like I instinctively pull away.
That's a good way to live. It is.
It's bad. Like I don't have any true hard hitting analysis to it. Other than that, like I have no Blake Snell anywhere this year, and it was just because I was like, oh, Tampa's done with him. He's done.
He had a 4.29 ERA in 2019. That was 107 innings. But he had an expected ERA of 3.04 that year, way, way under the 4.29. This year, 5.21, expected ERA of 5.58.
He struggles so much when guys are on base. I mean, you look at the seasons that he's done really well. His walk rates were at career lows. Those 2 good seasons that he had. I mean, we're talking 2020 where he was pretty decent, and then 2018, his walk rate was okay. Then it was a tad above 3, which like you can live with, but his left on base percentage both those years, 88% and 89%. This year and also 2019, where he's struggled, left on base percentage is 71-72% for both those years. And when his walk rate is sitting at 5.81 per 9 this year, like he's just going to struggle. The reason I wanted nothing to do with him coming into this year is I was like, he's just not going to pitch into the 5th and 6th inning. I think he's only done it 3 times this year. And within those games, he's struck out a ton of guys and didn't walk people, but he accumulates way too many pitches, gets to too many 3-2 counts. He's got incredible stuff, but if you can't command your fastball and people aren't going to chase that stuff, people aren't going to want anything to do with you in fantasy baseball. So it's going to be really interesting what happens next year. I mean, he's going to be a guy that you could buy really, really late. Maybe he bounces back. I think it's got to be something mechanical, and hopefully they can figure it out in San Diego because, they paid a price to get him.
That's what I'm saying. If you can be really good one game and then not another game, but it happens multiple times, it's a mental health issue. It really could be some type of confidence issue, which is very real. Or you're right, a mechanical issue where the walks are just everywhere certain days and other days they're not. And if they're not there, then he can go into the 6th inning. He can. But good luck with that.
My instinct is to think that he needs to make a pitch mix change or something. Probably like emphasize his best pitches and throw his. It's funny when you say that. It's like throw your better pitchers more and your bad pitches less. Like, duh, no shit. But like, it's probably something like that. Like I heard that someone was talking online, might have been Pitcher List or somebody. They were talking about his changeup, and then he jumped in. And he was like, "No, I love my changeup.
His changeup is trash."
Yeah,
his slider's his best pitch. That's his strikeout pitch. But I mean, how often can you just get away with throwing sliders, trying to throw them for strikes?
He's not living in reality. That's what it is. We figured it out. We did, Graham.
He lives on Twitch.
He does live.
Well, he's got a second.
So does Lucas Giolito. Okay, fuck. Man, I could talk forever and ever, but I got to wrap this show up. I really do. I love you. You're awesome, Graham. Graham Boatlocke, my friend. I'm always going to call you Boatlocke forever.
That's
I love
cool,
talking
man.
baseball. Yeah, you're a good dude, man. I'm so glad we did this. You sound amazing. Listen to this guy's audio, by the way. When you listen to the show again, you'll be like, wow, that is some damn good audio.
Check.
Zach, you out there? Are you jealous right now, Zach? Because we got top-notch audio from Graham. I know you are.
Well, now that I got it set up, Zach and I can record some stuff. Oh, I should plug that actually.
You should.
Yeah, check us out. I co-host. I mean, it's not official or anything, Zach, if you're listening. He told me that the application was in HR, still waiting to be processed. But
right,
yeah, I co-host Draft Champions podcast with Zach Roto, Zach Waxman. He's a good, funny friend of mine. And
he is.
Ramble about usually less structured than this, but we shoot the shit and talk about NFBC stuff, and it's great.
Definitely. I don't want to get between the two of you. You guys have your own thing going on, so don't worry. I'll stay out of that.
Just be a big happy family.
I would love that. I love big happy families. That's what it's all about here on the Palazzo Podcast. Don't forget, it's 2 L's, 2 Z's. Me and Deary are always here every time we do a show, usually. See Deary 1999, MJ Govier on Twitter. Graham is at Shrimp Boat Captain, CAPN. Do it. Follow him. Connect with him. He's a fella that is reasonable, honest, has integrity, and he likes to have a good laugh. So, I mean, what else do you want from someone on Twitter? Because it can get a lot worse than that. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about here. Don't forget, we'll be back with a new show soon. I don't know when that is because we just did 2 today, and the Sunday show is all fucked up now because the schedule's gotten so bogus, which bums me out. I really like the Sunday show, but I also like to live my life a little bit. And, if I got paid to do this, I probably would force myself to forego playing softball, but I don't. So,
nah, man, go hit some tanks.
Tanks?
I like
some round trippers.
What's a tank?
Tater.
Oh, taters. Oh, potato. Okay, got it.
Go hit some taters. Hit some tanks. Some dingers. Some round trippers. Some dingers.
I'll never hit a dinger. These guys tonight, they just crush this ball. They have these super bats and the ball. I'm never going to be one of those guys. I just don't know how they do it. But I'm not going to spend $400 on a bat either. I'm not an asshole. Don't forget Plaza Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
We always appreciate it. Sub the YouTube channel. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts would help the show grow more. So if you like us, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones. I always try to promote this. It's up to you guys, though, because we do what we can. We give you the best show possible, and then you guys got to share it with others. We try, and we do appreciate your time and energy. That's it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the flip side.